Hello, I'm a regular office worker in his late 30s. I managed to get married a little less than 2 years ago after persistently courting my girlfriend, who is 9 years my junior. From my wife's perspective, she got married at a relatively early age. Honestly, I've had my fair share of worries due to my young and pretty wife. Whenever we'd eat or drink together, there were always men trying to catch her attention. Although she firmly rejected their advances, I couldn't help but feel insecure. Though I've had my fair share of relationships while building my business, I had never met anyone like my wife. She has a unique charm, but is also incredibly calm. She always thinks logically and understands my perspective, the best kind of woman for a man. At first, I was rather against marriage. As a child, I saw my parents fight a lot with my father's harsh temperament, causing much hardship for my mother. I always lived cautiously, worrying whether I might unknowingly have inherited my father's negative traits. As a result, I became a person who couldn't raise his voice or get angry, not just with family, but also with lovers, friends, and even my employees. I was what you'd call a pushover, and that's exactly how people around me perceived me. I never voiced any complaints to my girlfriend, with the only exception being when I advocated for marriage. Fortunately, she wasn't against marriage and readily agreed. I thought we had a relatively smooth journey to marriage. During our relationship, I was always worried about losing her. But after getting married, I was somewhat relieved. Well, with the exception of her ex-boyfriends attending our wedding because they were common friends and sending congratulatory money. I believed there wouldn't be any problems now that we were both married. I told my wife, who wanted to be a housewife, that she could do so, and if she wanted to open a coffee shop or any other store in the future, she should let me know. Now, as my wife, she takes great care of our home. I eat a lot in the morning and often skip or have a light dinner, and she adjusts to my schedule perfectly. She wakes up to prepare breakfast and eat together, even when she doesn't have to, and always sends me off with a hug. Honestly, I felt more motivated to live after getting married. I realized why people recommend getting married. I look forward to going home all day long. Then in January of this year, we celebrated my wife's second birthday since our marriage. My wife said she had something she really wanted to do and hoped I'd agree. To be honest, I was ready to agree, even if she wanted to buy a house or a car. But what she wanted was to go out for exactly 24 hours on my birthday. I thought we were going on a trip together, or maybe having a meal with the in-laws. But her wish was completely beyond my expectations. I was curious about why she wanted to do that. So I asked, "All right, everyone needs some free time, but what do you plan to do?" She just smiled and said, "My condition is that you absolutely can't ask what I did or who I met." To be honest, I didn't have a reason not to agree. She had never done anything wrong by me, and I believed she was a very ethical and rational person. But somehow, her condition troubled me. She was asking not to be questioned about who, when, where, or what she did. Of course, I wouldn't mind if she went clubbing or enjoyed herself with friends. It wouldn't be fair for her to live her life just for me, especially since she hadn't even finished her 20s. Despite that, the thought kept coming back to me throughout the day, and even when I saw her at home, I was so anxious that I had trouble with my daily life. Naturally, she noticed. She gently said, "Are you worried? If so, I'll tell you my timeline." I said, "No, it's okay. Do what you want." But I was relieved inside. It was the first time I realized how petty I was, and I felt guilty. Then came the day of my wife's birthday, a day I had been dreading. I celebrated her birthday right after midnight, blew out the candles on the cake, and gave her the bag she had wanted. Seeing her excited like a child, I felt a little better. When I woke up, she was gone. She had prepared all my favorite side dishes and seaweed soup, which I just needed to heat up. There was a note that said, "I'll be back before my birthday ends. I love you." She left in the morning and would return before midnight. My anxiety subsided. I thought she just wanted to have fun on her birthday, so I went to work, came home, and fell asleep first. She came home and fell asleep next to me. The next morning, she was too tired to prepare breakfast, so I had a simple breakfast of cereal and bread. When I had a moment, I saw a message she had sent around noon when she came home. As expected of my wife, she had organized her day into an Excel spreadsheet. It was a timeline detailing what she had done at each hour since the morning. She had been to a nail salon at 10 a.m., a makeup and hair salon at 11:30 a.m., had lunch with a friend around 2 p.m., and so on. Considering her declaration, she seemed to have had a relatively low-key day. She had also gone shopping and listed everything she bought. However, my eye was drawn to the last item on the list, hotel. It was in a neighborhood I knew well. It was where she had lived before she met me. It was also where her ex-boyfriend used to live. She had stayed there for exactly 4 hours, not overnight. Given that I knew when she came home, the timing was likely accurate. I was confused as to why her final destination was a hotel, especially in the neighborhood where her ex-boyfriend lived. He was the one who had attended our wedding and even gave a generous gift of 1,000,000 won. According to my wife, it was because he paid a lot for dates when he was studying for the bar exam. Maybe he was grateful, but who gives such a large gift at someone else's wedding out of gratitude? It didn't make sense to me and bothered me. Still, I was relieved that they weren't in direct contact. But now that this suspicious event had happened, my anxiety grew uncontrollably. Unable to sort out my thoughts, I asked my wife, "Did you have fun on your birthday?" She replied, "Yeah, I was really happy for the first time in a long time. Can I do it again sometimes?" and laughed. I just said, "As long as you're happy." "Did you miss me?" pretending to sulk. She joked back, saying, "I didn't think about you at all." So we moved on as if it was nothing. But it's still bothering me. The fact that she went to a hotel after getting dolled up in the morning. It's called a hotel, but it's no different from a motel. But given my wife's condition and her confident attitude in sharing her timeline, it's bothering me. If she had something to hide, why would she write down the obvious fact that she was at a hotel? Still, the fact that she didn't think of me at all and was truly happy bothers me to the point of feeling sick. Maybe I'm narrow-minded. I've seen on the internet that many women go to motels alone to watch TV and rest, or to get a change of scenery with friends. Of course, she could have gone with friends, but it bothers me that it's near the home of her ex-boyfriend, who had feelings for her until we got married. If she had gone with friends, they would have gone to a better hotel, which makes me suspicious. I wanted to find out who she had to meet after getting dressed up in the morning. I know I shouldn't, but I checked my wife's texts and messages. There were no other people she contacted that day. besides the friend on her timeline. I'm not sure if she deleted it or if she really went to the hotel alone. I feel like I'm going to explode. I want to ask my wife directly, but I don't think I can. She always keeps her word, and if I ask, she'll probably want a divorce right away. I still love my wife too much and can't lose her. I've even asked myself, if she really cheated that day, would I divorce her? After several days of thinking, I concluded that even if she did, I don't think I could ever leave her. So, of course, it's right to bury it and move on. But now, whenever I see my wife's face, I imagine that day, and it's hard. I tried not to show it, but my wife asked, "Is work hard these days? You don't look good. Are you overdoing it?" Each time, I wanted to ask who she was with and what she did that day. But when I think about her reacting negatively, I can't open my mouth. If she asks for a divorce afterward, I don't think she would stay even if I tried to hold on to her. I'm worried she might leave me and end up meeting him. I feel like I would be left alone missing her. I don't feel like I'm living right now. I thought I was enjoying all the happiness in my life after marriage, but since my wife's birthday, it's been painful to see her face at home. What would you decide in this situation, dear readers? I can't let go of my wife. I don't know whether I should risk divorce and ask about that day, or just cover it up and wait for time to solve it. I hope this translation is helpful. If there are any parts that are not clear, or if you have any other requests, please let me know. Honestly, it's too short a time to think she went there for a staycation. We're not short of money, so why would she go to a motel and stay for only 4 hours? Is there any other reason to do so? I honestly want to dig deeper and find out.